It was dry season. The earth was cracked and thirsty. The British came bold in their red coats, thought they could march into Benin City and take what they wanted. But as the elders say, he that beats the drums of war must be ready to dance in blood. It all started months before that day. The British came under the guise of diplomacy and trade. They came with their false gifts, smiling while their eyes measured our bronze, our ivory, and our walls. Our people had built something great, something in the heart of Benin. The king's palace was full of life, full of art, full of history. The Oba's throne was unlike anything in their lands. We had our ancient bronze works, sculptures that told stories of our people, our gods and our warriors, gifts from our ancestors, treasures from the heart of our civilization. The Europeans had long been in awe of these works, though they never fully understood what they meant. They only saw value in them as objects to steal. That day they arrived in 1897, they came with guns and fire, demanding the heart of our kingdom as they marched into the heart of Benin. They were stunned. The city was beautiful and majestic. It was like nothing they had ever seen. Massive walls built with knowledge passed down from our ancestors surrounded the city. Suddenly, the air became thick with tension. We knew they wouldn't leave without taking something. What we didn't know was they would take everything. Our dignity, our culture, and our lives. They wanted to punish us for our independence, for our pride, and for the strength that we showed. But our king refused. He said we would not bow. We had never bowed to anyone before. I stood beside the king, the great Oba Ovorawen Nogbaisi, dignified and calm as always, ordered us to prepare. The Benin Kingdom is not for sale, he said. His voice was steady, but I could see the fire in his eyes. He loved his people and his ancestors' legacy too deeply to bow to foreign greed. We had never feared battle. Our warriors were fierce, trained for generations to prepare our kingdom and protect it. They were not only skilled in warfare, but in protecting our way of life, our culture. When the battle began, it was like a storm had been unleashed. The British attacked and found themselves fighting a people who had seen centuries of war, who had been victorious in every battle they had fought. The warriors of Benin fought like men possessed by the spirits of our ancestors. We wielded our swords and spears with a fury that turned the forest into chaos. Our Oba's generals led ambushes that confounded the British soldiers, who were not prepared for the cunning and bravery of the Edo people. We did not bend to their power, and that was something they did not expect. The sacred walls of Benin, tall and ancient, seemed to pulse with the strength of the kingdom. The British underestimated us. They thought their guns and cannons made them invincible, but they could not break the spirit of a people who had never known defeat. We captured many of them, their red coats stained with the earth of our land. The Oba spared some, sending them back to their leaders with a warning: Benin is not to be touched. But their greed would not let them rest. The British returned with more men and heavier weapons, determined to crush us. This time, they burned our city. They looted our sacred altars, stealing bronzes and artifacts that held the soul of our people. These bronzes, crafted by the hands of our skilled artisans, were not just art. They were records of our history, symbols of our gods, and the pride of our people. It was a bitter day. I saw the Oba weep for the destruction. Though he did not let his people see, his heart was heavy, but his spirit was unbroken. When they captured the Oba, they thought they had won. They exiled him to Calabar, far from the land he loved. But as they dragged him away, he turned to us and spoke words that would echo for generations. I may leave Benin, but I will return. The spirit of this land cannot be silenced. Even now, the bronzes they stole sit in foreign museums, their beauty a constant reminder of what they took. Historians marvel at the sophistication of the Benin Kingdom, at our advanced metallurgy and our organized society. Yet, they forget the cost of their plunder. The British suffered more than they realized. Their theft did not diminish the spirit of Benin. It only revealed their own moral bankruptcy. But the story of Benin's resilience lives on. The British may have scattered us for a time, but the Red Earth remembers, and the Oba's promise remains. One day, justice will return to the people of Benin, just as surely as the sun rises over the sacred walls of our city. I will return. I will return. The words of our great king, Oba Ovoranwen Ogbaisi, still resonates in our hearts and in our